Hi friends, after a very long time I'm doing a garden tour, and in Sydney this is summer, so the temperatures were very high until day before yesterday, and now it's cooled down a bit. We had a really light rain since last night, and look at my garden. It's just enjoyed its rain, and now all the plants are green and lush. So I have a very small backyard, which is um, you know this is how much the entire garden is. And in this I'm going to show you what plants I have, and what's the myths about these plants in Sydney, growing in Sydney weather. And this is black jamun plant, which we call in our language Neredu. And this is a plant grown from the seed. I bought it maybe 5 years ago, and it's still growing up, so I haven't seen any signs of fruits coming up or any flowering. So when you look at the top, I have chopped it down, so I want to maintain the height, a reasonable height, so that it doesn't grow vigorously and unable to reach the fruits when it starts fruiting. So this is my black jamun, and I have here my chrysanthemum, and which only flowers in autumn, so that's somewhere in March, April, so it starts flowering. So it's a very beautiful color. It's white, it's very white. And I have got here chili plants, and these are very spicy. This is given by one of my friends, and this is the second year plant, so it just goes dormant in winter because our temperatures range from 1 degree. The minimum it can go up to like 1 to 0. So this is the chili plants. So look at how many chilies I have already picked. Some of the chilies lately just to use in my cooking, and they are really spicy, very spicy. And here I have got, this is turmeric. So actually last year I planted some turmeric, and it gave me about 1 to 2 kilos of turmeric I've used in my cooking and as well as for cosmetic purposes. And when you look at this one, the betel nut leaves, and this is Australian version of it, and this is very easy to grow. If you are living in Australia, it's easy, very easy, as long as it is under the shade. And it acts as a ground cover as well, which protects your other plants and the soil from drying out. And this is marjoram, which is in my language they call it davanam, and this is very smell, you can perfume scented herbs, and this is also used in cooking. And then I have bitter gourd coming up, and this is the flowering plants. So look at how beautiful the flowers are, and they grow vigorously. So they go up to March or April. They stay until they form the seeds. And this is my tomato plant. Look at how big and nicely it's spread out. I didn't do any care for this one because I wanted it to be lying on the deck, so I don't mind having that one lying on my deck because it gives a very beautiful look to my garden as well. So I've got heaps of tomatoes coming up, you can see it, and they are so beautiful. So which is, I really love these tomatoes. They're pest resistant. I haven't seen any pests, and this is the first time I'm growing. It's a Stupes, I think Stupes variety, which is easy to grow and also stays for longer. And I have here tamarind plant and then custard apple growing together. I need to do something about it because they cannot grow just like very close, which may affect the growth of these plants. And I have tamarind I use most of the times for the leaves. I pick them, and then I have to water them, and then I have to maintain them. So this is my tamarind plant, and this is the second year plant. So I pick them and you would have seen many shots coming out from the tamarind tree. And this is another chili plant of the same variety, and look at how many chilies I have. So they are baby chilies, so I'm waiting for them to grow a bit longer. And this is my moringa. Moringa, you know, is very healthy. I'm growing it for leaves because I don't know, even in Sydney it grows and produces pods, but I haven't seen my plant growing to that tall, so I'm waiting for that moment to come through. Then this is another chili plant, which are the big ones, and look at how beautiful they are. So I use them in my cooking. And this is mushroom plant, and it's a very protein plant I use in salads. That's ground cover as well. And this is my another plant, which is bottle gourd or lauki, whatever you call that. So I'm growing that one, and also ridge gourd at the same time. So I'm growing these two. So let's see which one produces more. And this one was wild last time. I have got heaps of them, and I have given to most of the Indian community out here, and they were really happy because it weighed like one bottle gourd weigh about 6 to 7 kilos, so that was huge. And when you open it, it was so tender and so easy to cook. And this is the another chili plant, which shows up just like, you know, standing chili or sky, just, you know, facing towards sky. And this one is another eggplant. I got it from garden center, which was on sale, so I thought, okay, I'll buy it. So I bought it as a seedling, and it started flowering now, so hopefully that gives us fruits soon. And I have another, this one is bringaraj, which is used in hair. So you can make hair oil, or you can make paste and apply on your hair. So this is a very good healthy plant or useful plant for your hair. And this one is a gift on my birthday from my colleagues. I really felt so touched when they gave me this. So it is Sublime Fruiting Passion lime, and I'm waiting for this to repot it somewhere else so that it's easy for it to grow a bit bigger and then give lots of fruits. So that's that. And I had Brussels sprouts from the last season, but I think that's not good at all now. I picked them up, I pulled them out because the season was up and then they were not growing much. And this is the henna plant, and there is a lot of myth about growing henna plant in Sydney weather. It is a beautiful plant to have in your garden and a very hardy plant, I'm telling you, because this one goes dormant in winter and then comes back again in spring. And the more manure you give, like I just use garden soil at the start of the season and some cow manure and my compost, and that's it. And it just grows very, very nicely. And I have picked up some leaves yesterday and I have applied on my hand, and look at how beautiful the color it shed. So I didn't keep it for long as well. It was just only for maybe 20 minutes, that's all it is. And then how nicely it's done. So you can easily grow in Sydney, but you have to take care of it when it is small. Just putting indoors when it is frosty, and then that's it. And once it grows, you don't need any care. And then I have some chilies from last season, and they are really growing nicely. And these were like droppings from my kitchen, because I think they came in the compost bin, and then they sprouted and then started giving me chilies. Because last year it was not the right season, because my long melon or bottle gourd has grown too wild so quickly, and these were like very baby plants, and which they were not able to produce chilies. So I left it for that season, and then they started growing back. And this is capsicum. This is also from last season, and look at how nice nicely they are coming up. I didn't take any care for these ones, but they are growing nicely. And look at this, I think there is some disease on this plant, so I need to do something about it. So maybe once the rain stops, then I will do it. And this is mother of herbs. As it says, this is a very good plant to have in your garden, because this you can use it, you know very well how the mother of herbs works. You can use it for your sore throat, or I use that in salads or sandwiches mix. So I'll just put some leaves, and even in omelette I'll just take some leaves and then chop them into slices, very fine slices, and then put them in there. So it's really a good plant to have in your garden. And then here you can see, this is my stevia. If you don't know what stevia is a sugar plant, so which gives you an alternate to your sugar. So what that means is, if you dry these leaves and use in the drinks, and it gives a replacement to your sugar, and with zero carbohydrates. So it's a very good plant to have if you are health conscious. So I use that one in my green tea along with other herbs, and that's so wonderful. It's so sweeter. It says like 300 times sweeter. With the 1 teaspoon is 300 times sweeter than the 1 teaspoon of normal sugar. So it's very sweet. If you add a little bit of it, that should be enough. And this is another plant which I'm very proud of showing it to you. This is coming from a cloning of the big tree up there. What I did was, I did a layering. So what I did, I took a branch and then did a slight cut, a little cut, and then put up some soil around it and tied it very tight. You can Google it, what is air layering. So I use that method, thinking that whether it works. If it's not, just leave it. So I plant. So that was there for 4 or 5 months, because I started in winter, mid of winter, and then it started developing roots on the tree when it was like 3 months. So I said, okay, that's fine. Then I started looking at it. Recently I have seen the roots were turning brown. So when I checked with another gardener, she said that it could be because the heat, it was making the roots die. So I picked it up and then I just planted it just 1 day before the rain. So once it started raining, and then I tried to put in the middle of the garden so that it's easy. That's it. And then it started developing. Like, I'm happy that I think it survived, because the leaves look that it's not died. So it looks fresh and it looks live. So that's a good thing. And I have mint here, which I used for cooking. So I try to contain it. As you all know, mint is like very widespread. So I try to make it contain, which I use only for my family, and I share it sometimes. If I get more, I share it. I try to pick more often so that it helps to grow more and more. So, and this is my guava plant. And if you look at guava, oh god, see, look at that. Guavas everywhere. So this is fruited very nicely. And last time I thinned it. You know what I mean by thinning. Picked some of the guavas out so that it helps the remaining guavas to grow bigger. But this time I left it as it is, just to check what happens. Just to check whether they stay the same way. And I try to give more water when they are growing. So now look at everywhere I have fruits, because my kids love these fruits, and it's easy. This is another plant that you can grow in Sydney very easily. And this is another healthy plant which is rich in iron and vitamins. So this is native to my region in India. So I got seeds and then put them in the garden, and then they started growing. And this is another hardy plant. I make powder of it and use in my food. So that's another one which you can have it in your garden. If you don't know about this one, it's called Negro coffee. So Negro coffee, if you type Negro coffee, the benefits of it, you will find what that means. And this is my Tindora. Tindora is growing vigorously. As you know, Tindora again loves sun. Try to keep it in the sunny spot, and that helps you to get more Tindoras. So I have picked some Tindoras a couple of days ago, and I have more coming up. And once this rain stops and then started heating up again, and then you get lots of Tindora. So Tindora is another one which you should have in your garden if you are overseas. You know the value of it when you are overseas, of all these vegetables and fruits that it's not available easily. And even if they are available, they don't taste the same way as they tasted back home, because they come from some states, and then they travel a lot, and then by the time it comes to into your house, they are already like 10 days old. So it is good to have. If you have some space, just grow it. And this is my curry leaf plant, which is growing very tall. Look at that. So I love growing things that you don't get here more often, and curry leaves are more expensive in the supermarkets. You get only few sprigs, that's all. And this is the back side of my garden, and I have here my lime. This is another citrus fruit which is called Kungfa. So this is a grafted plant that I have got, so I'm hoping that it gives some fruits eventually. And this one I planted last winter, so this is my first year growing in the pot, so I left it in the pot. And this is sorrel, so which is a variety that is bit sour, and which is used in dal in cooking. So it's really a good one. Sorrel, this is how easily available in any garden centers. You can go and buy them and have that in your garden. So this is another plant that I have got it. So this is also like, if you leave it on the ground, it gives a lot of leaves, which is a very good one to have. And my aloe vera, I just kept one aloe vera because if I put it in the ground, it spreads like anything, so I don't want that to be spread in my garden. My garden is very small, as you have seen. So, and this is fern, which is Australian fern, which can be used indoors as well as outdoors. So I left it outdoors just to get that fresh air, and then once it is ready, then I will put back inside. So this is all about my backside garden, and look how lush and green it is. So I really love the way that the rain changed the look of the garden. Okay guys, I'll see you next time, and show you more from my friend garden. Okay then, bye.